Good evening and welcome to ESC Fan TV. Here we are again with Gustav, the social media expert in all things Melodifestivalen. We're into week 4 now, the final semi-final. Hello, Gustav. How are you first and foremost?
Hello, Ron. Lots of people have the flu this week in Melodifestivalen, but I'm well. I'm backstage at Malmö Arena. This is the Eurovision venue from 2013, and it doesn't look as fun in the backdrop this week, but we're really close to the stage.
And someone who's not too far from Malmö, but is in a slightly different country, as you can see, is Nicholas. He's back again.
Yes, hello. Can't get enough of these shows, you know.
Yeah. So first and foremost, what I want to ask is that obviously you said you're in Malmö. This is where Eurovision was hosted in 2013, and it's also a city that is used almost every single year for Melodifestivalen. What is it about Malmö that SVT keep coming back to use it for a heat? Because obviously you tour around the country and use different venues every year, but Malmö always seems to be a staple heat location.
Basically, it's the size of the city. Just like Gothenburg, it's a big city which merits Melodifestivalen heat. SVT wants to have a geographical distribution across the country, and Malmö is in the southernmost part of the country, so then we got the south covered. But the Malmö Arena is a really good arena for these kinds of productions, as was seen with Eurovision, for example. They even wanted to put Eurovision here. So it's just a good arena, and the city is warm and welcoming. They like Melodifestivalen, a good crowd always. There's people in the dress rehearsals. The arena is basically filled in some dress rehearsals. So it's good enthusiasm and a good spirit, and the arena is really good production-wise to work in.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what do you think it means for cities? Because obviously Melodifestivalen is big all over Sweden. So what do you think it means to a city, big or small, to get the chance to host this contest?
If it's a small city, it could mean something significant PR-wise, because this is there are a lot of news articles published about Melodifestivalen during a week when the heat is there. There are so many media outlets covering Melodifestivalen, so they are mentioning the name of the city all the time. And in the show, of course, it's somewhat a part of the show, but not a big part of the show, actually. They could make more of it. We're in a city, so everyone knows it. But in Malmö, it's not a big deal, but they are still very warm and welcoming, and they like to have things going on in the city, and Melodifestivalen is a piece in that puzzle for them.
Okay, you said about the press, so let's just quickly go back to last week. You were in Luleå, very high up in the north. A lot of people saying beforehand it was quite a weak heat, and I know that seemed to be the running theme of it, unfortunately, leading up to it. How did the press react after the heat and after everything had been said and done? Were they more positive about it? Was it the same sort of level?
No, I think the media was writing that it was very expected result. Why did we even have this semi-final, this heat? Because we had Mohombi and Mariette qualifying, because those were the two favorites. But it wasn't at all obvious that they would qualify. There were a lot of contenders, and it was an exciting heat, but many people said that this will not be songs that will have anything to do with the absolute top of the final. So that was pretty much the discussion afterwards. And several shows had entries had troubles last week with the show. Perhaps they have trouble accommodating to the stage this year, I don't know. But they had some troubles in the rehearsals, and that could have affected the final result as well.
Okay, and so going to move on to this week now, and obviously it's the last heat. Everyone gets excited about the last heat, and one spot in particular, which is semi-final for Song 7, which is the last song of the entire competition. And that year, this is Hannah Thurm. Every year, regardless of who the singer is, the person put in that spot within the fandom and the bookies always seems to be pushed up quite highly. You know, Jon Ljungvik, Mariette, Loreen, Molly Sandin. Why do you think this is? Why do you think there's so much precedent and expectation around being Song 28 in the contest?
The running order matters. It matters psychologically for people voting, but also it's a tradition because Melodifestivalen is a long-running format. Since 2002, we have had this format with four heats, and then it has been built up across the years that the last position in the last semifinal is important, because this is something that the producers have decided. So if you want to keep something to the last spot, then it means that you probably have something special there. Rhetorically, it's communicated as a position where you put something where there are a lot of expectations. So you're not supposed to know the winner until you've heard the last song, because the last song has to potentially at least be a contender.
Okay.
But do you think it could also be a bit of a curse to be put in that place, because obviously people will have higher expectations, maybe?
Yeah, it could go both ways. Sometimes perhaps you can, if you have something relatively good to offer, you could just fly through on the expectations, and the people, whoa, oh, I love that singer, and then they would discover in the final that it wasn't perhaps as good as they first felt, or they could be disappointed, as you say, and let go of it, even though perhaps they would have voted for it if it was performed by an unknown singer. So it's always difficult if you're a known act, if you're a known artist, and get back into Melodifestivalen, because you're also competing against your previous entries in a certain way. But Hannah Färm seems to be doing well. We had an exit poll here. She did perform twice, in the dress rehearsal, because she was drawn as one of the winners of the night. But she did win a huge victory in the exit poll that OJE Sweden does here at the arena. They are asking the audience who was the best, and they make the statistics. And Hannah Färm had more than 42% of the votes, and that's definitely the most we have had this year in Melodifestivalen in one of these exit polls, which doesn't lower the expectations, I guess, for her.
Obviously, this year you've got Hannah, Victor, Nani Grunewald, Ellen Benediktsson, Frida Örn, all names who have done Melodifestivalen before, all in the same heats. Do you think this makes it a more exciting heat? Because obviously they're, previous artists coming back. Do you think it just gives a different atmosphere to the arena because there are a lot of recognizable names all in one show?
I'm not sure that this show, this heat, has a lot of known names in Sweden, even though they have been in Melodifestivalen before. Nanne Grönvall is the big name. It's the name that if you want to publish news articles before this heat, you can't say that Frida Örn is going to be in, or Ellen Benediktsson is going to be in, even though they have been several times in Melodifestivalen. You have to say Nanne Grönvall is going to be in. You have to watch. It's this Saturday. Nanne Grönvall, what is she going to do? So she's like the big household name in this heat, while Hannah Färm is the name that you have the high expectations on for the contest.
Okay, and obviously this is your 4th week of doing it. As you are with the team and you follow it around, how does the atmosphere change from city to city, week to week? Obviously, you're probably getting a bit more tired because it's your 4th week on the road, but does the atmosphere change? Is there more excitement? Is there more nervous energy? Like, how does it all shift between the artists, the crew, everyone involved?
Yeah, usually week 3 is the week when you have a dip in your energy, because you're not close to the end and you're not close to the beginning, so you're starting to get tired. But then we usually go north, and you change the environment. It's all thought through, I think. It's all designed, but generally at the first heat you have a lot of things to do. It's extremely intense. And then you're starting to get routines going. Obviously, everyone has their routines. Everyone who has to know what they're doing to get things to work at all. They have everything prepared perfectly because they've been doing this for many years, or they have been learning from someone who has been doing it for many years if they are new in the position. But some of us has to improvise too. And then you really have to work hard the first week, and then you kind of get the hang of it. This year we have had Hall of Fame, for example, that Melodifestivalen starts a Hall of Fame, and it's been a lot of extra work for us at the online department. And now we are presenting the last ones of the 48 inductees. So we're really happy to have this completed. We have completed the Bidragsbibeln, all the facts on the competing entries. So finally we can start to produce some improvised stuff, or some quality stuff written pieces or something, investigations. So I'm really looking forward to that. It will be fun starting on the next week.
Okay, there's one final question for you. Obviously, last week you told us to look out for Mahombi. Would he fly or not? He sadly didn't fly. Is there anything in the show tomorrow that we as fans should really keep an eye out for and keep an eye on?
Well, don't leave the TV when Nanne Grönvall is performing, because in Nanne's stage show, she will have a sequence when they try to transform a podium into a car. It's the same staging designer who has done all her previous Melodifestivalen shows since 1998. It's the same guy, and now he has created a car.
I can't wait to see that, to be honest.
That sounds great. Looking forward to that, definitely.
I'm excited now about that. Well, I think that's everything. Thank you again, Gustav. We know you're incredibly busy throughout these weeks and very late nights for you as well. So big thank you. Obviously, Melodifestivalen tomorrow is the final heat in Malmö. Will Hannah Firm go through, as everyone seems to be saying, seems to be said. But until then, and we shall speak to you next time. And thank you very much, as always, Gustav. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Nice to be with you. Enjoy.